we took the support of the body to come back to be the observer. That was the purpose. Our purpose was not to establish the body. Purpose was to establish that I am other than the body and I am conscious. Correct? Then second one was
Observe the breath.
observe the breath. And in that what did we do?
We saw the breath going, like the transversing the breath at each location, like in the heart, at each location. And it is, as it's traversing, we are like able to observe in breath, out breath, in breath, out breath.
So we took the support of the breath. Breath is a natural process which is not started by us as an individual. It began because we got one when he came out. And all we are doing is observing the movement of the breath. We are not observing the breath. We are observing the movement of the breath. And normally where does the breath go? It goes all the way, it should go all the way to the abdomen. And what was our rule when we relax the body? Wherever the attention goes, there the breath goes, isn't it? So now what we did, as we are observing the breath going into the abdomen, well, it was going. We put our attention on the abdomen first time. Second, we shift our attention on the chest. So the breath only goes up to the chest and very little trickles down to the abdomen. Then we come back to the throat. We are slowly withdrawing from the total breath. We come to the throat. When we come to the throat, the breath, you breathe in, the breath goes to the throat, little bit trickles down to the heart, even lesser than before trickles down to the abdomen. Then we come to the nasal passage between the nose, inside from the what do you call this? From the throat up to the top of the nose at the back. So that is the nasal passage. So that when we put our attention there, slowly the breath trickles down only to the throat and the chest. The tummy does not inflate or deflate. Then we brought our attention to the bone part of the nose till here. Till there. And when you bring the attention there, the breath, the journey of the breath is reduced even further. And then at the last instruction was bring your attention to the nostrils, and as a result the journey of the breath from entering the nostrils hardly goes up to the top and then comes back down. And as the breath is becoming, the journey of the breath or the length of the breath is becoming less and less and less because of your attention, the stability of the body is becoming more and more and more. Who is the most stable? Which is the most stable body? Unmoving body, undisturbed body. Dead body. You have to think out of the box. What is happening in the dead body? There is no breath. What are you bringing about in yourself? A dissolution of the breath, isn't it? Consciously, without dying. So, body becomes completely still. This was, you observed that. Now, and then we told, and at this moment what happens is the breath only goes into the nostrils and comes out. See? At that time, you can bring your attention to the beginning of the breath or the conclusion of the breath. You can do that, or just keep observing as an observer. And as an observer, if you have done this whole exercise, and the instruction was now shift your attention from the breath to the observer. If you are, for any reason, sometimes you can experiment. And how to get to the observer? Bring your attention to the beginning of the breath, that point. Remember today morning, that point came sandhi, that sandhi between the in-breath and the out-breath. If you try to just be attentive of it, you can't catch it. If you be attentive of it, suddenly the breath will stop, the mind will stop, the body will stop, and you are still there. And that's it. What is that? That is Jivan Mukti. You are with yourself and you are conscious. That is what our goal is. This is happening with you all the time. You are not aware of it. So we have to, Shastras have to bring about different exercises by which you become aware of what is already going on. That's all. Nothing is new. This is already happening with you. So now we go into the mind. So first was the relaxation of the body. Second was the relaxation of the breath. Now is the relaxation of the mind. And what did I tell you, if you remember yesterday's class? What are the 3 parameters required for the mind? First was the how do you wean the mind from outwards to inwards?
Being the center.
But all your answers are correct. Be in the center, be aware, but it is not happening. So what are the 3 parameters that you have to be aware of when with reference to the mind?
That this is the mind.
First is
Quality of
oh good. Someone has written notes. First is the quality of the mind. So what is the quality of the mind right now? Tea was wonderful. Biscuit was even great. I am satisfied now. Good, over. Now, when the thoughts in the mind are about the world, it will lead to agitations because it will lead to desire. Now, if I don't get a tea like this tomorrow, I'm going to take him to task. Correct? Simple rule. Hai. If I don't get if I don't get water in the night, if I go to flush, again I'm going to scream. So, whenever there are thoughts about the world in the mind, desires erupt. We get attached. So now we are going to change the quality of the thoughts consciously. We are not choosing to think about the world, we are going to choose to think about Om. Or वैसे तो तुम जब when you are with yourself you can take any jap, but we are taking Om because Om includes all the alphabets. Om includes all the words. So then this confusion will not come. Oh, my mind is saying Om Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram, but my Guru Maharaj gave me Om Namah Shivaya. Now what do I do? तब तक मेडिटेशन ओवर हो गया. हम इसी कंफ्यूजन में लगे हुए हैं. So whenever there is confusion, just hold on to one Om. It is complete by itself. So we'll take Om. Initially what we will do, we'll chant Om, Om, Om again and again without giving any gap between the Oms. We'll keep repeating Om. I will initiate it in the beginning, you continue. Do it in your mind, don't do it loudly. Continue it in your mind. And then slowly, as our mind becomes habituated with the Om, we will consciously reduce the frequency of the Om. So what was the first? Quality. So we did the quality. Now we are changing the frequency, meaning the quantity of Oms that are coming in the mind, we are reducing that. This actually, technically, it should happen by itself. That is the best way. But because of shortage of time, we will just initiate it, slow it down ourselves. Then what happens? So first was the quality, second was the quantity. We have reduced the quantity of thoughts. And the third is direction of thoughts. Initially, our attention was on the Om, and now we are going to bring the attention to the observer. Again, the two things. What is that? As the Om frequency reduces, gap between two ohms appears. It is natural. It is. There was a gap between the two words. So similarly, between two ohms there will be a gap. That gap is absence of ohm. That gap is the same gap which you experienced in sleep. It's exact. That gap is the same gap which we call as sandhi. It is the same gap. Normally you are sleeping when the gap appears. If it is elongated a little bit, if the mind becomes quiet a little bit, immediately kharate shuru ho jate hain. But here, because we have initiated it, we are conscious, and the gap is there. Mind has got nothing to think. There are no thoughts in the mind. Or I'll give you another choice. You can choose whichever. Either you remain in the gap as the consciousness, if that is not understood, because you have to shift the direction. You are looking outwards towards the Om. Now the habit of looking outwards, because you have practiced it for lifetimes, you will say, oh, there is nothing. You are looking outwards. But tell me, is there something called nothing? Is there something called emptiness? There's nothing called nothing. So that means what is there then? Only you are there. If it doesn't click, there's another choice. What is that? You bring your attention to the beginning of Om or the conclusion. Or we will put it this way, you bring your attention to the sandhi between two Oms. You do that. Or third option. Third option is you become attentive that in your presence, after you practice for some time, you know what happens? The Om automatically keeps going on in your mind. So you are observing. Om was there, Om was not there. Om was there, Om was not there. Om was there, Om was not there. So what is your observation now when I say this? That the presence of Om and absence of Om, duality, presence and absence is duality, both are happening in my presence, in the presence of the observer. Shift your attention to the observer. These are the three options. Something will suddenly click. So, clear? Any doubts? Correct, Shudu? So now, the first part we are going to do it quickly, just like this morning. The breathing part also will focus more on the Om part this today. This Keeping your back, neck and head in a straight line, a happy disposition, a smile on your lips, eyelids gently settling on the lower eyelids, no tension in your forehead, fingers interlocked or in the thumb and the index finger touching together in the Jnana Mudra, a comfortable position. Take few deep breaths, 2-3 times, and all the way to the abdomen. First part is we relax the body and come to the observer. Taking a deep breath in and imagining someone pouring a bucket of cold water on your head and the water trickling down your head, forehead, face, neck, throat, chest, abdomen, thighs, knees, calf muscles, toes and out. relax, relax. Again taking a deep breath in. Again the same exercise and scanning the body from head to toe, head, forehead, face, neck, chest, abdomen, thighs, shin bone, ankles, toes and out. Again taking a deep breath in and again scanning your body from head to toe by yourself. Relax, relax. Bringing the image of your body as you are sitting right now into your mind. Observe the body from the front and let it relax. See it is at peace, and feel that all the future expectations, planning, anxieties, desires, everything is just washed away in that relaxation. And the body is settled down even more than before. Circumambulating the body, going to the right hand side of the image, seeing the right side of the body only. Relax and let go of all the emotions, unwanted thoughts, fickleness of the mind, all those emotions which are not conducive to your growth. Let them get away. Let them be dissolved. And relax. Continuing to the back of the body and observing the back of the body and relaxing by giving up, growing out of all the past guilts, regrets, memories. The more the memories, the stronger is the ego. Lesser the memories, less the ego. No thoughts of the past, no ego. Drop it and relax. Moving to the left hand side of the image, observing the left hand side of the body. And relaxing by letting go of all concepts, projections, imaginations, ideas, etc. Everything that we know by way of thought is only a concept. You are not a concept. You are the infinite consciousness. We are moving towards that. So we have to drop all the concepts first about the world, about the God, about ourselves, about who we are. And relax. Again, come to the front of your body and keep observing the form. Don't look at any particular limb of the body. Our attention should be on the entire contour of the body. And when your attention somewhat stabilizes on the form, shift the attention to the observer. Observer is always other than the observed. So here the observed is the body form, and observer am I. Observer can never be the observed. So I come to this realization that I am the observer of the body form. I am other than the body. Now, in this fairly still and stable posture of your body, where you are sitting at this moment, feel the movement of your breath from the nostrils all the way to the abdomen. Three times. You are not breathing in or breathing out, it is happening. Your attention is at the abdomen, that's all. Now observe the movement of the breath from the nostrils all the way to the chest. Three times. Observe how, when you bring your attention to the chest, hardly any breath goes down to the abdomen. It stops at the chest. So the journey traversed by the breath has reduced. We are trying to go back to the source of the breath. Now, bring your attention to the throat, the hollow of your throat. Watch the breath begin from the nostrils, come all the way to the throat and back. It will be your observation that the expansion and contraction of your abdomen has stopped. The heaving of your chest has stopped because the breath is not entering your chest nor the abdomen. Observe this because your attention is at the throat. Now observe the movement of the breath from the nostrils to the nasal passage, which is the gap behind the nose from the throat all the way to the top of the, just behind, below the third eye. Now be aware of the movement of breath in the bone part of your nose, the top part of your nose. And lastly, bring your attention to the nostrils. Watch the breath enter the nostrils and exit the nostrils. As you relax and become acutely aware of the breath going in and coming out of the nostrils, you can even feel the temperature. The ingoing breath is cool, the outgoing breath is warm in texture. At this point, we have got two options. Either recognize we are the observer of the breath and shift the attention to the observer, or catch the point between the in-breath and the out-breath, or the out-breath and the in-breath. That is the sandhi, that is the junction. Catch the point and merge. Don't go to sleep though. data we have collected is with reference to the body, we are the observer. With reference to the breath also, we are the observer. The observer is separate from the body, and the observer is separate from the breath. Both the observers are the same. There is not a different observer for the breath and a different observer for the body. And that observer, I am. I am the continuous observer in whose presence the body becomes activated or body becomes silent. The breath becomes activated or breath becomes silent. The observer remains as the observer in spite of the body and the breath, whether they are there or not there. This is the data that we have collected. In your own time, you can do it longer, but our goal is not to stop here. We want to establish that the observer is independent of the thoughts also. So, for the moment, I will chant Om and you will listen. After some time, you will chant Om yourself in your mind and just follow the instructions as I keep sharing. Now we are not talking about the body, we are not talking about the breath. We are not giving attention to the body, nor we are giving attention to the breath. Now we are being attentive to the thoughts. In your mind, chant one Om after the other without leaving any gap between the two Oms. If you leave a gap at this moment, some other thought will hijack. So we are not allowing any other thought to erupt between two Oms by making sure the chain of Om is a continuous one. Do it in your own mind. Attention should be on the thought, not on the breath and the body. Now consciously reduce the frequency of Om in your mind. Your attention should not be on the Om, your attention now should be on the gap between the two Oms. As your attention is on the gap, if you feel any other thought other than Om showing its hood, immediately chant Om. You are the observer of the appearance of the Om and the disappearance of the Om. Accept. This is your status. This is your reality. This is your disposition. Shift the attention to the observer. Or remain in the gap between the two Oms. Nothing to do, nothing to achieve thereafter. And yet for others, the third option is be attentive of the beginning of the Om or the conclusion of the Om. All the three possibilities bring you to be with yourself. The I vanishes. When there is no reference in the mind, the observer also vanishes. In its place, the Atma reveals itself. Slowly taking a deep breath in. Again. Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Hari Om. Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Hari Om. Move your fingers, move your toes, move your shoulders, move your neck left and right, up and down, and offer the experience to the Lord so no memory is created.